This lesson looks at the surface area of cylinders. You will find lateral areas of cylinders and the total surface area of cylinders. How are cylinders used in extreme sports? Extreme sports such as inline skating, biking, skateboarding, and snowboarding use a cylindrical shaped ramp called a half pipe. The half pipe looks like half of a cylinder. Usually there's a flat section in the middle with sides almost 8 feet high. Near the top, the sides are almost vertical. The axis of the cylinder is a segment with endpoints that are the centers of the circular bases. If the axis is also the altitude, then the cylinder is a right cylinder. Otherwise, the cylinder is an oblique cylinder. The net of a cylinder is composed of two congruent circles and a rectangle. The area of this rectangle is the lateral area. The length of the rectangle is the same as the circumference of the base, so 2 pi r. The lateral area of a right cylinder is 2 pi rh. You can see we're taking length times width in a rectangle. Area of a rectangle, length times width. So more formally, if a right cylinder has a lateral area of L square units and a height of h units, the bases have radii of r units, then L equals 2 pi rh. A fruit juice can is cylindrical with aluminum sides and bases. The can is 12 centimeters tall and the diameter of the can is 6.3 centimeters. How many square centimeters of aluminum are used to make the sides of the can? Okay, they gave us the diameter. I wish I knew radius. So I'm going to take 6.3 divided by 2. So my radius is going to be 3.15. Okay, I wrote out the formula the way I like it. LA for lateral area equals 2 pi rh. So I have 2 pi times my radius I found was 3.15 times the height is 12. When I type that in my calculator, I get approximately 237.50 if I round to the nearest hundredth, and that was centimeters. It's area, so it's square centimeters. If a right cylinder has a surface area of t square units, a height of h units, and the bases have radii of r units, then t for total surface area equals 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r squared. This is a great example of how formula can use. Okay, we know the radius because they told us. It was 14. We know the height because they told us it was 18. Plus 2 pi radius squared. And I type it into my calculator. My calculator says that is exactly 896 pi, which would be lovely if they wanted us to leave pi as pi. Or if I wanted to round to the nearest, I like hundredths. They didn't tell us, so I get you to decide. 2,814 and 87 hundredths, and it's still square feet. So there's two nice versions of the same answer. Did you notice that the formula for surface area of a right cylinder is an awful lot like that of a prism? We're still doing lateral area plus both of our bases. Find the radius of the base of a right cylinder if the surface area is 528 pi square feet and the height is 10 feet. Okay, interesting. They gave us a surface area and they left pi as pi. That was nice. And 2 pi, find the radius. Oh, I have an r. The height is 10 plus 2 pi r squared. Okay, I have r's. Well, I see a 2 pi everywhere, so if we divide both sides by 2 pi, that'll get rid of those guys. So now I have 264 equals 10r plus r squared. Looks familiar. I could subtract 264 from both sides. I'm going to write it in descending order. So r squared plus 10r minus 264 equals 0. I need to come up with factors of negative 264 that give me a sum of 10. Now, hopefully you don't need to write out the whole factor t, but I did just in case. I was looking for two numbers that would give me a difference of 10 because I need a positive and negative to make negative 264. So I'm going to have r plus 22 times r minus 12. So my two factors have a sum of 10, and when we multiply them, it's a product of negative 264. Okay, the zero product theorem says that if one factor equals 0, the whole thing would equal 0. So if I subtract 22 from both sides, I get r equals negative 22 and add 12. Algebraically, r could equal negative 22 or 12. Now in the real world, radiuses cannot be negative, so it must be 12. And they were nice and gave us units, and they were feet. The lateral surface area of a cylinder is 2 pi multiplied by the product of the radius of the base of the cylinder and the height of the cylinder. Surface area of a cylinder is lateral surface area plus the area of both the bases.